Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. 2,000 years ago, the Chinese philosopher Confucius advocated a harmonious society without selfishness and conflicts. 1,500 years later, the English author Thomas More wrote about an imaginary place in which everyone enjoys peace, equality, and commonwealth. These and various other ideal worlds share something in common: peace, love, and harmony. Such has been the dream of human beings throughout the world, and we have long been working towards this goal. History has witnessed numerous wars, and even today, some parts of the world are still suffering from the threat of conflicts. Such a dream, however, has only been going stronger instead of going awry. When the athletes from North and South Korea walked into the Olympic fields hand in hand, holding one flag of the Korean Peninsula, they together lit the torch in an effort to end half-centuries conflicts. It is true that there are still many problems in the world, problems of too complicated roots to be solved at once. As we all know, some small countries are being bullied by big powers now and then, but at the same time, we see protests being staged all over the world. The nuclear power has caused unstable equilibrium, but the Cold War has made us all aware what a desolate future the world would have if nuclear war were to break out. Racial discrimination and religious conflicts still prevail, but as far as I know, no religion in the world teaches people to hate or fight. Indeed, reality is far from ideal, but the problems are not altogether unsolvable. We human beings are blessed with reason, and we still have the confidence that the light of reason will eventually disperse the dark and shadows. With the economy growing at an amazingly fast rate in the last 2 decades, China is now facing both tremendous opportunities as well as challenges. An important change of mindset is that China is learning to be more critical of its own problems and more concerned with addressing these problems. Public opinion has never been so active and constructive as it is now. Self-criticism and a sense of crisis is a sign of maturity and self-confidence. Chinese visionaries are now advocating green GDP and attaching great importance to social development that emphasizes human well-being. So, it's not hard to see the direction in which China is moving. Policymaking is getting more down to earth, corruption is still being fought hard, and concepts such as due process and human rights are working their way into public consciousness. So with all these efforts going on, sure and steady, there's good reason to believe that China's future will be bright. Last week, a forum was held in Beijing. The theme is Chinese Dream and a Harmonious World. The message is that all Chinese have a dream, and that dream is peace and prosperity. And the realization of this dream will contribute to the harmony of the whole world. Thank you very much.
Contestant number 24. One typical feature of the young generation is overconfidence. As a result, they lack the patience to do a basic job, dreaming that they can accomplish great things in a short period of time. Do you think that encouraging young people to believe that they can accomplish great things is misleading and/or potentially harmful?
Well, thank you for the topic. First of all, I should say I don't really think the one typical feature of younger generation is overconfidence. Nowadays, many people say that this is a showing era. To some extent, that's true, because Internet and blogging provide a platform for everyone to voice their own opinions, however outrageous, and we have various means to achieve our goal, however difficult. But that doesn't mean we young people are overconfident. Because by overconfidence, I think what it means is that we have the belief we can accomplish things far beyond our competence, which is impossible to do, and that may usually lead to arrogance, which I don't think is a typical feature of our generation, because most people have is self-confidence instead of overconfidence. And I think this belief that we can accomplish great things should be encouraged among young people. Because first of all, the belief that we can achieve things serves as a guiding star that lead our road ahead. By saying the star, I don't mean that we have to necessarily reach the star in a few steps. Instead of doing so, I can look up, enjoy their beauty, and regard them as the guidance in my life. For example, without the belief that I can speak English good enough to attend the National English Speaking Contest, I may not be standing here on this grand stage and face so much audience today. And secondly, the self-confidence usually can generate innovation and creativity. Because nowadays, we see many graduates start their own business after college. In this way, they can not only apply their knowledge, but more importantly, their new ideas into practice. And this is essential not only for the individuals, but the society at large. Because our nation not only needs the labor force, but also new ideas and innovation. And I think that innovation can be encouraged through self-confidence. So based on these points, I think the belief we can achieve great things is beneficial to individual and the society at large, and this should be encouraged among young people. And as for me, I've always wanted to go to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and I believe that through my own effort, I can achieve that dream, and hope you can achieve your dream as well. Thank you very much.
Contestant number 24, thank you for your interest in joining the Foreign Service. You are the last speaker, so sorry to have kept you waiting. I'm deeply impressed with your firm belief in a harmonious future. But do you think people today are any closer to achieving a peaceful and harmonious future or harmonious world than Confucius, who lived 2,000 years ago? After all, Confucius did not have to worry about nuclear weapons.
Well, thank you for an interesting question. First of all, I think human beings nowadays, we still have the dream to achieve the harmonious world, though the harmonious world in our dream may not necessarily be the same as the Confucius world, because what Confucius advocated is everyone should probably have the same interests and needs, but nowadays we advocate diversity. But one thing in common is that we all want our world to be harmonious and peaceful. And I think through our joint efforts today, we can achieve this goal. Because nowadays, as you mentioned, nuclear weapons, I can give you an example, that is the six-party talk. We are more and more resolving to negotiations instead of violence. So yes, I believe that we people nowadays can get closer to such a dream. Thank you.
Contestant number 24, thank you very much for your speech. Talking about overconfident, do you think that a parent and school nowadays indulge young people too much, making them more arrogant and proud?
Well, thank you for a question. I agree, there is some point in what you said. I think part of the reason of overspoiling children is that nowadays most of us are the only child in the family. So yes, I agree, many parents would spoil their children. But that spoil may not necessarily lead to arrogance in the children's part. Because as the only child in my family, I not only have to live with my parents' protection and be my mother's daughter, but also I have to adapt myself to the society. I have to get I have to learn how to get on well with students, friends, and attend social activities. In this way, I think I can learn how to be self-confident instead of being arrogant. For if I act too arrogant, nobody would like to talk with me, and I may not feel well in the society. Thank you.
Thank you, contestant number 24. You talked about prosperity and its importance. Many people think of prosperity only as materialistic. What do you think about prosperity? What do you think are the characteristics of prosperity?
Excuse me, I beg your pardon?
Materialism, you know, right? Some people think prosperity is only materialism. What do you think of prosperity?
Oh, thank you for your question. Of course, by prosperity, I mean both the material part and the spiritual part. Material part means we enjoy better life, better living standard, we have more money in our pockets. By spiritual life, I mean we have richer spiritual life, and maybe the moral standard of the nation can be higher. And I think to achieve a harmonious and prosperous world, we have to pay attention on both these parts. Thank you. Thank you very much.